So in this video I'm going to go through how to make some standard lights and also how to change some of the settings in these lights. To create a light, you go into your Create tab, into your light section. For this here I'm not going to use photometric, I'm just going to use standard lights. And the first light I'm going to use is an Omni Light. So I'm just going to click on my Omni tool and just click inside my viewport. That creates my light, and it also changes my viewport lighting settings to, instead of using default, to use the scene lights. If that doesn't happen, just go into your realistic or shaded tab here and the lighting and shadows and turn on illuminated with scene lights. So in my modify tab with my light selected, I can now change some of the parameters of my light. First thing is my light type. I can change this actually to spotlight or directional light if I wish. I'm just going to leave it on Omni for now. The other thing I can do is turn on shadows. So now my light has shadows and they'll update in real time as I move along. I can turn on or change the type of shadows that I have as well. So each one of these have kind of basically different quality settings. I'm just going to leave mine on advanced ray trace. Down here we've got a multiplier. This is basically your intensity, how bright your light is, so I can lower this or raise it depending on how bright I want my light to be. I can also change the color of my light. And I can also add a decay rate, so this means that the light color will decay over a certain distance. So it means the light here will be far less than the light from the center point of my Omni Light. So if I turn that to inverse, you can see now that it's quite dark over here compared to here. I can also use near attenuation. So this determines how far my light goes and how close it starts from this center point. So at the minute it's starting right in the center, but if I raise this up, you notice that a second sphere appears. If I put this down to the ground, you can see my light doesn't start to emit any light until after that sphere. And then my far determines how far my light is going to go. So I can determine like that it starts here and it will end there. I can get it to feather off quite well as well. Under shadowed parameters, I can choose the color of the shadow if I wish. I can also change the density. The other light that I'm going to show you is my spotlight. So this light again is a spotlight. It could be used as a torch, could be used as car lights, it could be used as a spotlight. Has very much the same parameters as the Omni Light, so shadows and your intensity and color, your decay rate, near far attenuation, but it also has its own spotlight parameters. So this means that we can choose the beam size or the angle. We can also choose the fall off, so it has a kind of feathered effect near the end and it isn't quite as sharp. In our directional light, this here is a light used for covering quite a large area in our scene. So if you're having like a skylight or a light from a moon or anything, this would be the most ideal light to use. Again, has the same parameters such as shadows, intensity, multiplier, decay rate, but it also has its directional parameters, quite like the spotlight, where we can choose like how big of a beam that it's going to shoot out and the fall off field in that.